On April 28, 2025, Canada witnessed a political shift as Mark Carney's Liberal Party secured a minority government. But what does this mean for Canadians? From immigration policies to economic strategies, let's delve into the implications of this new leadership. In a political environment where change is inevitable, Mark Carney's rise to the position of Prime Minister marks a monumental shift for Canada. The former governor of the Bank of Canada, who stepped into the political ring as the leader of the Liberal Party, has now formed a minority government following the 2025 federal election. With 169 seats, Carney's Liberal have fallen short of the 172 required for a majority government, forcing him to adopt a more cooperative approach with other parties. The implications of this shift are vast, both for the internal dynamics of Canadian politics and the nation's role in global affairs. This new government under Carney is not just about the numbers in Parliament, but about navigating complex national issues, particularly those concerning immigration, the economy, and international relations. In this video, we will analyze what a Carney-led minority government means for Canada's future, from Carney's policies on immigration and economic recovery post-pandemic to his potential impact on Canada's international relations. Let's break down the changes that lie ahead. Carney's political journey is both intriguing and unprecedented. A former central banker with decades of experience, Carney's name has been synonymous with stability and financial acumen. After leaving his post as governor of the Bank of Canada in 2023, Carney quickly became a figurehead for political change in Canada. He entered the Liberal leadership race in 2025 and won in a landslide, securing over 85% of the vote. This victory was not only a personal achievement, but also symbolic of a Canadian public looking for something new after years of political stagnation. Prior to Carney's entry into politics, the political scene had been dominated by figures from the more traditional political establishment. But Carney's outsider status and his reputation as an economic strategist drew a wave of support, especially among younger voters who were looking for more than just promises. They wanted a leader with a proven track record. His background as a financial expert has positioned him as a leader with a deep understanding of Canada's economy. But the big question remains: can a technocrat who has never held an elected position lead a country through such turbulent political times? After securing 169 seats in the election, Carney's Liberals are now tasked with leading in a minority government scenario, which presents a range of challenges. In the past, minority governments in Canada have been known for their volatility, with alliances frequently shifting and policy decisions becoming battlegrounds for various political fractions. Before we go any further, please like, subscribe, and share this video with your family and friends. Subscribing to my channel is not going to cost you anything, but it's going to support me big time. Thank you. Now back to our topic. Carney's ability to hold on to power will depend on his ability to negotiate and collaborate with opposition parties. One of the immediate challenges is the composition of the opposition. Carney will need to find common ground with these parties to push through his agenda. A significant aspect of Canadian political life is that despite ideological divides, pragmatic compromises often come to the fore in the interest of national stability. With the minority government, Carney will need to continuously manage negotiations and make concessions, which means that policy outcomes may be slower than anticipated. However, a minority government could also bring a greater sense of accountability, as it forces Carney to work with rather than dictate to the other political parties. Now, let's dive into the heart of the matter: the policies that will shape Canada's future under Carney's leadership. While much of his political capital was built around economic expertise, the policies his government will push forward will affect every aspect of Canadian society. Immigration policies. Canada's immigration policies have been a source of contention and debate for years, with the country seeing a rise in both the demand for skilled workers and the challenges associated with integration. Under Carney, Canada is looking to stabilize immigration, proposing a strategy that would maintain permanent resident admissions at less than 1% of Canada's population annually. This plan is designed to ensure that the pace of immigration aligns with Canada's infrastructure capacity, such as housing and healthcare, which are facing significant pressures. This stabilization strategy would specifically aim to focus on integrating immigrants into Canada's diverse communities, with special attention given to supporting French-speaking populations in Quebec. The move could also have significant implications for Canada's economic future, as immigration has long been a key driver of economic growth, particularly in sections that require skilled labor. However, balancing this demand with the need for sustainable development will be a delicate task. Carney's policies could impact refugee resettlements and family reunification programs, which are also part of Canada's broader immigration strategy. The key will be finding a middle ground that supports Canada's reputation as an inclusive, welcoming nation while addressing growing concerns about the pressures on the country's social services. Economic policies. Carney's approach to the economy is another area of significant interest. As a former central banker, Carney has a deep understanding of fiscal policy and economic stabilization. His tenure at the Bank of Canada during the COVID-19 pandemic demonstrated his ability to manage crisis, and he now faces a different challenge, recovering from a global recession while managing inflationary pressures and ensuring the sustainability of Canada's social programs. Carney has already signaled that he intends to focus on fiscal responsibility and creating a more resilient economy. A key component of this will likely involve modernizing Canada's industrial base by investing in green technologies, clean energy, and digital infrastructure. His government's budget will likely focus on strategic investments to stimulate job creation in sectors like clean energy, technology, and healthcare. However, with limited control over the House of Commons, pushing through a comprehensive economic agenda will require substantial negotiation and compromises with opposition parties. Carney will also face pressure to address inflation, which has significantly impacted Canada's cost of living. It will be interesting to see whether he chooses to implement a range of tax reforms or additional spending cuts in an effort to keep inflation in check while still investing in key sectors of the economy. International relations and foreign policy. Canada's role on the international stage under Carney is also critical. Carney's leadership style suggests a shift towards a more independent Canadian foreign policy, one that distances Canada from previous policies shaped by external pressure, particularly those from the United States. Given Carney's past criticisms of US President Donald Trump, many anticipate that his government will be less inclined to align with Trump's America First rhetoric. Carney might be able to forge a more balanced approach to diplomacy, with an emphasis on promoting Canadian sovereignty and protecting the interest of Canadian citizens. One area where Carney could have a significant impact is in trade relations. Canada's relationship with the US and Mexico will be tested under his leadership, especially with the USMCA still shaping economic ties between the three nations. Carney will likely advocate for policies that protect Canadian industries, particularly in the agricultural and manufacturing sectors, while striving to maintain positive diplomatic relations with its neighbors. Public reaction and media coverage. The results of the 2025 federal election have led to a range of reactions from the public. For many, Carney's victory represents a necessary change after years of political gridlock. Carney's economic expertise and steady hand during times of crisis are seen as vital qualities for a country grappling with the aftereffects of the COVID-19 pandemic and ongoing global uncertainty. However, there are also significant criticisms of his leadership. His lack of direct political experience has left some skeptical of his ability to navigate the complexities of Canadian politics. Can he build the necessary alliances with opposition parties, particularly in the wake of a fractured political landscape? Media outlets have been quick to analyze the impact of Carney's leadership, with many pointing to his centrist approach to governance. It's also worth noting that Carney's background in finance gives him the credibility to tackle complex economic issues, but he will need to demonstrate political savvy in order to deliver his agenda. What does this mean for you? As Canadians, the rise of Carney's minority government could mean significant change on the horizon. How these policies will directly impact our daily lives depends largely on the decisions made in the coming months. From economic recovery to immigration, the policies shaped by this government will play a pivotal role in shaping Canada's future. For instance, those relying on immigration for job opportunities may see changes in the types of skilled workers that are welcomed in the country, which could affect the job market. Similarly, Carney's economic strategies will likely impact how Canadians experience inflation, housing affordability, and access to healthcare services. Mark Carney's election as Prime Minister and his leadership of a minority government signifies a pivotal movement in Canadian history. His policies will shape Canada's future, but his ability to govern effectively will depend on how well he navigates the complicated world of coalition politics. In a country that values both economic stability and social justice, Carney's government has an opportunity to chart a new course for Canada, one that balances progress with fiscal responsibility. As we move into this new political chapter, the question remains, will Mark Carney be able to steer Canada through turbulent waters and emerge as a leader for the future? Or will the challenges of minority government prove too great? Only time will tell. Thanks for watching. What are your thoughts on Mark Carney's new government? Will he be able to deliver on his promises? Leave your comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.